There's home, and then it's like channel, and then it's chat.
Oh,
Yeah, I clicked the wrong thing.
I gotta find a way to make our widgets, because like I have different widgets set up for the D&D podcast, and they're the same as the ones here, which are supposed to be different, but we'll figure that out
Wait,
later.
where do you get that? Where do you get the chat section up on your?
You gotta go to
You
Kodiak Lounge.
No, on
no go to your channel, and then it says chat right in the center, like underneath the video area.
yeah, I clicked on that and no writing came up. That's weird. Um,
Hello,
Are you
everybody.
live, Chris?
Yeah, we've been live for a hot minute, but
all right,
they're
let's.
cool. They like listening to us jibber jabber.
Yeah, you can edit this intro out. Not
It
upload.
says that.
Ooh, it's
Oh,
9/11.
all right.
Just can't believe I can't. I can't click channel. I click chat, and then like there's
Mike,
no
those are
way.
cool pictures, dude.
You like that?
Yeah, that's very cool. I can't wait to be able to not have a production studio sitting in front of me and just relax and enjoy the podcast like that. That's going to be so fun. Mike's about to
All right,
be our
I
production manager
actually
here very soon.
know how to find the chat on Twitch because it's
Well,
not
I
letting
am
me.
the technical DJ,
How to find the chat on Twitch?
so that's not a bad thing.
Here's some information for how
I
to
like.
chat.
I wouldn't mind being producer,
You'd be good at it, man.
like on Monsters in the Morning. I like
Hmm.
that. I like Angel's job consists of making sure all of that stuff is running properly.
Yeah, I love that. I think you'd be really good at that. You know, as things like what you had the remote into my system here to make sure we were running operational, like you'd already have that fine.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Oh
go, Nick.
man, running like a business, huh?
That's it. Delegation, son.
Remote management software on everybody's computers to instantly be able to take over.
Oh my god, don't do that.
All right, I'm pretty much ready to go. When you guys are ready, obviously we're live, so we can start now.
Nick, for some reason your audio sounds a bit low to me, but that's probably this is my
That's
problem.
probably on your end, so I'm
It
not worried
is
about that. The sound was fantastic when I watched the test runs that you made us do about 6 times before we went live.
twice, literally twice.
Okay, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of High Input Games. I am one of your hosts, Nick, aka the Wild One, joined with the Bearded One, Chris Kodiak, and our resident genius, DJ Mike _gaming. Today is October 23rd. Today's October
Close, close.
20th. And we have a lot of gaming news to cover with you guys. But first of all, if you want to support us, as always, you can go over to patreon.com/high input games, where you can subscribe at bronze level, where you get the show ad free, silver level, where you can get the access to the post show, and yeah, check us out. So I'm going to dive straight into the first news that we have for you guys today, and that is that Call of Duty has a new update that's coming, and it's Halloween edition, and it comes to their what is that? Their Verdansk map, and it's an event that provides dozens of moments. This limited time event runs through November 3rd, and it brings back some tension that the first mode that first made its way to battle royales in in 2017. It turns the Warzone upside down with creepy environmental changes, a haunted Easter egg hunt, and numerous rewards. There are 2 new modes that are surprisingly terrifying. The 2 new modes are the Trick or Trios and a Zombie Royale. They both offer different types of Halloween-themed experiences. Zombie Royale is fast, action-packed. The player controls zombies that are more like 28 Days Later than Walking Dead, where the map is full of undead players leapfrogging over buildings and sprinting through gas. Trick or Trios offers a slower, tension-building gameplay that comes directly from the new haunted maps. That's all I'm going to
Wow.
say about it. Now we're going to talk about it. So, what do you guys think about this free update that they've added to Warzone this Halloween season?
Michael, I'll let you take this one.
You know what? I think what I really enjoy about Call of Duty is that they are typically constantly updating a game would be bad, right? But what they do with Call of Duty is provide you with a lot of content. that's not something that we can argue about. I don't think Call of Duty is constantly pushing out more things for you to do, changing up what's available to you in the team deathmatch modes. So this is just another big one for them. It's a great game. I enjoy playing it, and I'm definitely going to play this. When I saw zombies, I thought we were talking about Cold War, but it's just what they're doing for Halloween.
So we're
that's cool.
talking. This is very similar to like Apex's Halloween special last year when they did the nightmares that you could control, because the zombies are player controlled. This is not a zombie experience like Cold War zombies that they are introducing. This is
I believe the smaller map version is something more along those lines. The other map, Trick or Trios.
Okay, maybe we can check that out.
While you cover that,
Yeah, I mean,
we could do a let's play about that too.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Neat.
I mean, I know Apex did a very good job at introducing this player-based zombie system, and a lot of people ripped off that. And I mean, it went into a lot of different genres here. So
but I mean, that's a common mode from well before Apex 2. Older games have done that. Things like Counter-Strike have done that for years.
Really?
So that game mechanic isn't something that's old. Or is something that's old. It's been around for a while.
I'm excited to see what they do with it, because Call of Duty,
they've
really crushed it. I'm really excited for Warzone. I think Warzone's going to be, or not Warzone, Cold War. Holy cow, man, that looks great.
Cold War looks fantastic.
Looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
I think that have they said yet if they're going to be under the same umbrella as Warzone? I think they're
two different, aren't they? Isn't Modern Warfare and Black Ops are two different things? Yeah.
Yeah, they're two different studios. It's Activision and Insomniac. No, terrible.
Wow, look at us, man. Don't even know who makes Call of Duty.
Oh my god, I feel terrible.
One is Treyarch Games. And
Thank you, Treyarch. That's what it is. Man, I had to reach deep for that.
Listen, Treyarch says Black Ops Cold War will expand on the Warzone as it currently exists. Thank you. Moving forward.
Really? How is that happening?
Well, because nobody wanted to redesign Warzone. It was a smash hit. It is their Fortnite. Okay, so they're going
but still, that's kind of wild. That
is going to be because Warzone's its own mode.
I mean, I agree.
It's kind of like Team Deathmatch. It's like saying I'm expanding on Team Deathmatch. That's just a game mode.
It is. But these two companies split up a while ago, right? They used to be one company, were they not?
Yeah, but it didn't split up for any negative reasons. It was really more. Some of the people from Sledgehammer ended up going over to Treyarch, but I don't think there's bad blood between them. It's like with the EA. We talked about it last week with the Need for Speed games. Sometimes you got Ghost Games making them. Sometimes you got Criterion Games. I think that sometimes it's just good to get a new developer on something for a while. After you've just done a tremendous Modern Warfare, let somebody else take care of, period pieces and things like that. And I mean, that's what Treyarch's good at. They did World at War. They did World War II, which I never played Call of Duty World War II.
Arguably the best one.
Yeah. You beat the campaign?
Oh man, Black Ops 2 was a fantastic game.
No, it was World at War. World at War was the World War II one.
World at War was one of them, but then there was Call of Duty World War II, which came out just recently with all those. Remember where they say hide your tags when the Jews are all standing?
No. So I actually played through that one twice. That was the one that was I didn't realize I had actually played that one until I got to the campaign where you play as the woman and you're sneaking around the Nazi. There's like a Nazi dinner that they're having, and you go upstairs and this German guy is sitting up there, and I realized at that point I was like, oh my god, I have played this. I played this like years and years ago. This was a remaster that came out. World War II. This is a remaster that happened recently, yeah?
Oh yeah, no, not a remaster.
No,
regular. It came out for free on PlayStation Network, and that's why it got our attention again. And I was like, oh, did you play this one from 2018? And you were like, yeah, I've already played that one.
Yeah, I didn't know that I did, but I did. I played it again.
Is that as mentioned above, Warzone will share a battle pass with multiplayer and zombies. So it seems that they're going this route of give us $10 and we're going to blend a lot of stuff together. And
that's really interesting.
As well, that developers are starting to go the route now of keeping people together. You don't want to release 8 maps that divide your player community. You want to give people 8 maps to play on, and then give your community a reason to stay by giving them cool aesthetics and options like that. But really interesting to see that they're continuing to build on the success of Warzone, because what game was it that had Warzone first? It wasn't Warzone, but it was Black Ops.
You're talking about Black Ops. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They did
What
it
was it
really
called?
It was like,
Blackout.
hmm?
It's called Blackout. And it wasn't bad. It was
Very
fun.
good. Very good.
It was fun, but
Third Warzone is, and then Warzone became they cracked the code where they were like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, my son plays it nonstop, and it has become up there now with Apex and the rest of them, 100%. I've got friends that only play COD Warzone on Facebook. They absolutely love it, and it
Apex
stands
is the
miles
truth.
above. Apex is very good, but COD Warzone is now in the same breath as Apex, where Battlefield's Ring of Fire isn't even in the same conversation.
No,
Do you understand?
agreed. Ring of
So
Fire
now
is
we're
more
talking
like in the Black Ops range, you know.
even less than that. It's when you talk about the top 5 battle royales, you're talking about Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty Warzone, and then you might find some more less obscure ones like that Spellbreak we just talked about, which is still a smash hit, and then other ones which I'm not even going to list the 5th one because we don't know them well enough, but I'm sure
Cycle.
there are.
no,
That's why I
definitely
didn't want to
not.
throw it up there, because it's not the most popular battle royale.
No, bro, I would throw like COD Mobile and stuff like that on there before I'd throw anything else. Hell, COD Mobile and PUBG Mobile are probably the two most played
PUBG.
battle
Let's put
royales.
PUBG up there because we were talking battle
Yeah.
royales.
Yeah.
I'll put PUBG in there for sure, probably at number 2. They did well, they just didn't innovate enough. So that to me is awesome to know that these companies are playing well together and that people have a lot to look forward to.
Mhm.
And so speaking of companies playing well together, we're going to move, swiftly on to headline 2. We're about to see what Amazon can do when they launch their free streaming platform Luna. It's now
Luna.
available in early access, and they're going to be going up against gaming giants like Microsoft xCloud and Google Stadia. And I'm going to pass this one over to Mike, and we can discuss it obviously while we go through the hit points here. But let me just read off what we have here so that everybody gets a good idea. I mean, this is Amazon's gaming service. With early access, players will be able to access Luna, available on TV, Mac, PC, Fire TV, Mac, PC, and on web apps and iOS, which is great to know that they cracked the iOS force field.
They did because it plays through a browser. That's how they did it.
Yep. An Android version is expected soon. Early access requires you to subscribe to the Luna Plus game channel, which comes with 50 games at $6 a month, which, if you haven't played the games, is a fantastic deal. They don't have a complete list of top tier AAA games, but we did notice that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is coming day and date to Amazon's gaming service. So that's pretty exciting. If you didn't have a console and you were interested, imagine you were just about to pick up some sort of service or some sort of subscription or something this Christmas, and for $6 plus a controller, you'll be getting into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. If it works, that's subject to be seen, but we'll talk about the specs in a moment. I don't want to sidetrack to finish this. You'll have to purchase individual titles. Amazon game purchases and early access players get 7 days of Luna Plus for free. Better than that, Amazon will start billing you for its monthly subscription. Mike, let's talk about specs. Do you know what resolution this bad boy?
Yeah, actually, so we are going to get up to 1080p at 60 frames per second is the promise, with 4K coming soon. So
Nice.
I think that's that's the sweet spot for streaming services right now, right? Some of them offer 4K. Doesn't work that great, but at 1080p, I think that's a realistic promise. I think for the most part, 1080p content can be had from what most people's internet connections are.
Yeah.
The average internet connection.
A lot of times, I mean, even in the last generation before this next gen comes out, our option, and we actually have rumors that option is going to remain, where we pick between 60 frames and 4K. That 4K
Correct.
and 60 frames is not something that our consoles are actually going to offer us, even in the next generation. So, there is still rumors that that's going to be an option.
Too. Yeah, I mean, you have to be realistic about the latency too. The only way to really get low latency is to have a server near you, and the realistic part of that is that most of these places, while they have a ton of data centers, don't have one next door to your house. You know,
Mhm.
so trying to stream that, trying to promise 4K is difficult, and you're trying to get to the average player base. I really think I think the channel idea for Luna is a really great idea. Being able
Yeah,
to
they're talking
pay
about
for
having
channels.
sub-channels, aren't they? Yeah, where you
Yeah,
come
yeah,
and
they're going to have. They say they plan to have more than that, right? So let's say they have a Rockstar channel, and they've got, I mean, that's a really neat idea for not a whole lot of money. If they say, let's say they charge $5.99 per channel, how many games do you get access to? Would be the question.
Mhm.
But that's not a bad price.
No, it's not. And if it works, like we said, it's all seems subjective until somebody says, "Look, for less than a delivery pizza or for less than a frozen pizza, you can stream games to your device." And it
Sure.
works. And that's been,
Off.
I think, the big statement of 2020 is like, if it works, like xCloud
Hmm.
will be great if it works, Stadia great if it works,
Right.
and when it works, which is inevitable, there's a lot to be said about gaming and streaming and being able to play without hardware.
Yep.
I can't stress
Absolutely.
to you how technically demanding games are going to get, and the times we're in right now. It just seems that if you had the choice to spend $70 on a dongle, a controller, and a subscription, that worked, versus a $500 console, $400 console. It's then the argument you can make. Before, when you say there's latency and the graphics kind of suck and the game's catalogs blows, then I get it. Then at that point you're saying like console or nothing. xCloud or any of these subscriptions crack the code, and you can say to me, man, it's no different to a console and it's all running off my TV. That's when I think the conversation shifts, because who cares if it's in 4K if you're a casual gamer, if you can play it in your living room, if you can unplug it from your living room and take it on vacation,
Yeah, it's
wherever you want to
coming.
go.
This is going to be the future,
I mean,
whether we want
you
to
know,
believe it or not. It's coming this way.
I think at 1080p we're there. I mean, I think we can realistically deliver that. I mean, you can go on YouTube. You can go on YouTube right now and watch a 1080p 60 FPS video. You could probably watch one for 2 hours and have
Mhm.
no problems. It'll
Yep.
play like that perfectly the entire time. There's not a whole lot of difference there. The biggest thing is about getting the keystrokes from the controller back to
Right.
the game.
Like Nick
in
said,
their
latency.
cloud.
Latency is the most important
Yeah,
factor here with
latency
cloud
is the
gaming.
most important factor. And so
No,
having
that's correct, and we're there. We're within milliseconds now. It's just not enough. I believe the general talk among all journalists right now that have access to it. I have access. You guys have. The whole world has access to it. It just depends for your internet connection and things like that. The general consensus is it's good enough to play your single player games on.
Mhm.
It's where you
not
would go to
competitive.
play competitive games online. So you can
No,
play
that's the
grounded,
problem.
you can build in grounded, you can run around, you can enjoy playing um, um, any shooter really that's not too even you can get the hang of racing games, which is strange. You do realize that you're having to make the input slightly earlier than
Hmm.
on the PC or on the console, but there you do get used to it. So I can't imagine, right? If this is early access year one, what, with the way that technology upgrades and you see cell towers being built and data centers being popping up all over the country, it, depending on what part of the country you're in and depending on what part of the world you live, it shouldn't be too long.
Mm-mm.
We are no longer, we're hardware.
No,
It's got to go in the way that Netflix went. There's just no need.
Honestly,
agree.
I'd bet about a year out. I bet by end of next year we're streaming Cyberpunk without a console, no problem whatsoever on something like Luna.
Chris, can you pull this controller up?
Sure.
And the beautiful thing is what they could do then is they could just import their streaming service the um, to the consoles themselves, to the console's UI, and it doesn't matter then if you've bought a console or not. They'll say like, "Hey, man, not only can you stream the game to your console, but if it's streamed to a console, it's in 4K, and if it's streamed to a TV, it's in 1080p." Right?
You know,
And all of
I'll,
us streaming in 4K on a console, and that's something that to write home about too.
I'll be honest with you. The things like this almost make me worry about video game maker like Nintendo, right? Their biggest draw, the biggest draw to the Nintendo is now
Mobility.
being able to travel with you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
you know. And
Mobility's
I
huge.
mean, I think we're going to see a lot from whatever their next, their Switch
Nintendo
Pro
proved
is going to
that
be.
they are not afraid to innovate. Or
They're
afraid
not.
to
They're not at
innovate.
all. They're
They are happy with playing their graphics the way that they are, with the games the way they are, and they're
They
in
are.
a huge market.
it's a massive market. It's a massive. It's huge. But I do think that this takes a bite out of their market just a little bit. It might not be a big one, but at what point do they suffer? At what point do they need to start becoming a?
As long as you can't see the Switch is becoming, so it is getting Witcher on it. It's getting games like the Outer Worlds, and from what I've heard, these games aren't running great. But when the Switch comes out with a 4K ready version with the NVIDIA chip that they've been to have, that's it. When you're playing The Witcher 3 on a device, you are now competing against the Samsung S20 that's playing it as well from the xCloud.
Yep.
So the difference is then, they still have the ability to put the cart in rather. So the Switch, and I believe can we download games from xCloud yet? I think we can. There was an option to do that.
Chris, go to their website. Go to the Amazon.com/Luna website. I think you'll.
I was looking at a controller side by side next to Stadia's.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually do. I do like the controller. I like that it's
So this is
really nice controller, right?
This is what we got. Nick, for some reason, I'm having a really hard time hearing you. I don't know if you're too far away.
He's breaking up a bit.
Oh, okay. But the controller here looks almost, I would say, identical to an Xbox controller. Like they just took the Xbox controller and ripped it right out of it.
I mean, why reinvent something that you just need to work with your service? Obviously, if Microsoft has a problem with it, they'll let them know. But if not,
you can't patent a shape. Like you can patent the shape, but you can't patent the way the buttons are positioned, and that's why there's so many third-party Mad Catz controllers and things like that. Don't fix what's not broken. This has obviously been an engineering feat where I'm still surprised that PlayStation don't have offset analog sticks, and I've heard that a lot of people are also surprised that they don't have offset analog sticks.
Do you see this? It's Alexa enabled. That's cool as hell.
Alexa, play Grid, and it just pulls it up on your Fire TV.
So we got $5.99 a month, unlimited hours, obviously growing lobby of games.
2 devices for $5.99 a month.
2 devices at a time. Holy shit.
2 devices at a time, but with the Ubisoft one, it's only 1. Now, I'm sure you could add to that, maybe. I would bet there's a la carte features.
So here are some of the examples of games that are going to be coming out. Obviously, we got things like Control. We got the Valhalla coming day and date, which is a huge announcement they made a couple days ago. Easy ones like Abzu, 2 Point Hospital. I mean,
interesting that they chose to put Valhalla down on the bottom left.
Yeah, and also look over here on the over here on the right, half cut off, Watchdog Legion. That's interesting.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's like not. Why is that not center? And Resident Evil Biohazard.
Everyone's saying that Watch Dogs hasn't gone gold yet, and that is a huge problem. They haven't announced it's gone gold. No,
even
it's not
so,
sure. This game is supposed to be out in like 2 weeks.
Oh, and then there's the ability to. Is it 2 weeks? Is it supposed to? No.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I guess we're almost in November, aren't we, guys? We're almost at the big. We're almost at release time. We're
right on the cusp.
We're in the home stretch, boys.
We're about to have a lot to talk about.
Consoles are going to release, and there's not going to be any fucking left.
So can we just request early access by doing this?
I did like a month and a half ago.
You requested early access on Luna?
Oh, that, Watch Dogs Legion takes this seriously.
What I think is really neat is that if you're watching a Twitch streamer and they're playing a game that's on Luna, you can click.
Watch Dogs is supposed to come out on the 29th in 9 days.
What?
It hasn't gone gold.
Maybe what?
Well, I think Google. Maybe they're planning on being like, "Hey, man, fuck it, we're just gonna go digital all the way." That's pretty nice.
No, you can't, Chris. You have to submit it to the ESNRB viewers, whatever it's called.
Oh, I thought going gold was just meant they were making the disc.
Yeah, you might be right.
Y'all gonna have to pardon me for a second. I'm gonna have to use the drain the vein. Be back in a second.
No, he's right. Gone gold does mean disc production, and going for
Mhm.
certs means it's going for certification. But look, if I go to here, has Watch Dogs Legion gone gold yet? I was about to ask the same question. This is 3 days ago. Hopefully, they'll announce the game's gone gold by next week. Sorry, but what do they mean by gone gold? Printing discs. I was wondering the same thing. No, it's getting delayed, man.
Think so?
Seems to be the hot topic that's going around. Go for news. You can't print discs 9 days before you go live and get them to the distributors and get them out to retail. I mean, Amazon have to ship them the day before because Amazon be getting their discs to people like day of these days. It's the only reason, right? What to expect from multiplayer? Oh, I've heard that the multiplayer for Last of Us Part 2 is going to be really good. It's going to focus on factions, and factions were a heavy part of the story.
I'm looking. I'm checking out Reddit for.
Yeah, I mean, the guys, if anyone's watching right now, this is what we do. We're doing some live journalism stuff. We're trying to dig in for you guys, figure out what is going on with Watch Dogs and why haven't they told anybody about it. They did say that the lead designer on Twitter had gone quiet for about 3 weeks, which wasn't a good sign. Ubisoft announced.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
Oh no! Look, here we go. 5 days ago, Ubisoft. Oh no, that's Valhalla. That's Valhalla. Sorry. And
No,
look,
Valhalla, see, that's the crazy
Valhalla
thing.
went-
Valhalla just recently went gold,
and
and
this doesn't come out for a while.
and there's
like
nothing.
19
There's nothing
comes out
about
like-
Watch Dogs Legion going gold, but people are already pre-installing the game.
Okay. Watch
So
Dogs Legion.
somebody
Sorry.
on Reddit here posted a video about pre-installing, and it's
do
a
we have
picture.
for-
It's a picture of it pre-installing on his console.
And what was Valhalla's restate? Assassin's Creed.
silly.
Let's have a look.
That is interesting, though. I didn't think about that.
Well, that could be a scoop right there that we've sort of stumbled across. That
No, because somebody put a joke under that every single comment after everybody says anything on Watch Dogs Legions is has it gone gold yet, and it's just starting to annoy people.
Yeah.
It's apparently a common thing right now.
All right. Well, we've grasped that part of the information. So let's drag back over here to see what else we have. So if we can't find that it's gone gold, that's very strange, everybody. So
It is
And
strange.
it's 9
but
days out?
I would think that if people can download it, that it. I mean, why would you put it on? What would you have to put on streaming services if it wasn't?
Wait, so it's 9 days out and hasn't gone gold.
no,
Not from what we can find.
no, and Valhalla has gone gold 5 days ago, and it released later than that. Looking for Valhalla.
Interesting.
I'm excited for Valhalla. I think that's going to be a really. I think that's going to be a neat game.
It's going to get swallowed up by Cyberpunk.
I know it is, but I think it's going to be a good game. I think that's-
Cyberpunk's going to be on all the headlines. It's going to be on. Did you guys watch that Nightwire episode 4 where they show all the cars?
No, I stopped watching all of those because I want this game to be very good. Hey, Nuke Man is here. What's up, Nuke Man? How's it going, big dog? He's in the chat right now.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see the
Nice.
chat, Nick, since you're hosting it.
I can't. Maybe on my phone I can't.
I cannot see the chat in there. But what's going on, Nick?
No,
Man?
you can see it if y'all are hosting the stream. Just look at the stream. You can see the chat. I have a chat box on the stream, so you can
Oh
see
yeah,
him.
I see it.
He's there. We're talking some interesting
what's up,
content.
dude? How you
Yeah, he said,
doing?
"What's up, Nick?"
I see it now. I see it popping up. Dude, just taking a break from trucking and hanging out with.
So we would.
We'll get you all set up with the Kodiak invites, and anybody else who can come join us in the Kodiak Lounge, where we do like post shit, where we just mess about and have a good time, and everybody's welcome to just play games and have fun together.
He
Chris,
still
what
don't
were
have
you
the
saying?
Discord yet, does he? I was
You
just.
can- in the chat.
He gave me his name, but I didn't add him. So if
You
you,
can-
see it pop up,
You can post it in the chat, Chris. You can just post this.
He said he's trucking right now.
Oh, he's
Is
trucking now.
dude, all day. This guy never stops. 30-hour runs, never stops.
30.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, dude, it's great. Right.
So,
we'll get
all
to
right,
tracking in a little bit. Mike,
Yeah.
what are you gonna say? You gonna move to headline 3?
No, I will let you introduce headline 3.
All right, man. 2K responds to NBA 2K21 unskippable
Hmm.
in-game ad backlash.
Yeah, I
This
heard about this.
This is rough, man.
This
has
is
been
this is
taking too much.
really
Fucking
interesting.
AI,
Now,
EA,
are they
man.
going to charge less for the game by watching by them making money off of fucking ads? I mean, what's going on here?
I see that he didn't put the apology tweet in here. Is that what that link is right there, or no?
How did they think people were going to react to that? I mean, who the fuck wants to watch an ad in the middle of their game?
Well,
No one.
According to what the apology letter, it was unintentional. That was not
Yeah.
when it was supposed to be released.
Well, they put out a tweet that says, as
Yeah,
many are aware, in recent years, ads have been integrated into 2K TV's segments. Yesterday, 2K TV ad placement impacted our players' experience in a way that we didn't intend. This means that even when the game was ready to be played, they were stuck watching these bullshit ads. Even though they bought the game for $60, they were forced to watch the ads before they could play. And these ads are not meant to run as part of a pre-game introduction. This will be fixed in future episodes. Thanks for your continued feedback.
So where are the ads supposed to run?
They're probably going to run like at the bottom of the screen when you're buying content in the store. Probably run at loading screen and things like that, but they should never impact your actual games before. Like if they're running a 30-second ad before you're allowed to play the game,
I'd be
that
so
is a
mad.
joke.
Yeah,
That is a joke.
That's not a place game ads or advertisements deserve to be in any capacity, especially marketed towards people like children.
No, like it's okay for it to be on like the jerseys or something like that, even, or the TV screens on.
We were watching Ready Player One, and the guy's like, "I'm trying to sell ads.
Oh yeah.
He's like, how will you see the game? He's like, it doesn't matter. I want ads everywhere. 90% ads, and give the player 10% window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what if we get to a point where like, I mean, they'll never allow it because it's just ridiculous. But like,
Don't
you're
say
in the
never.
game, just real ads on the TVs and the games. You know,
I don't think we're far away from that.
You go into a store in Grand Theft Auto, and in the TV comes on an ad for like a Kit Kat bar. You're like, I guess the impression would feel good.
The first anything that we get created like a contact lens that allows you to see something like that. That's
happening.
That's all you're gonna see.
Yeah,
Mike, you remember over at Infocom when we went to Infocom and they had
Yeah,
the glass,
I was just
the
telling
windows-
Nick about that.
the windows that
If you
have
guys
the.
were part of the Silver Patreon subscribers base and pre-show content, you could have heard this conversation already. Because me and Mike running around the house.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but yes, Chris, you're right. They had some incredible, like, transparent displays and just
That was that. I mean, when it really had a cyberpunk vibe. Like when you're walking through an area that had these storefront windows that have these advertisements pretty much built into the glass. Like the glass has a hologram that shows up where you don't have to have a sign on your window. You can have a hologram, a digital imprint, if you will, over the.
Hello. I see it pop up on the stream.
Yeah.
Love that graphic.
Appreciate that, Nuke, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's not the graphic intended to be on this stream. That's for our D&D podcast. However, which, by the way, we're having a D&D podcast coming up soon, Nuke, man. If you're into Dungeons and Dragons. We're not, but we're about to be.
Dungeons and Dragons either. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Let me turn that brightness. Yeah, we're not all into it. We're about to figure out what this is about.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. I mean, I could do a little. Oh no, I can't because none of us are on it. Do a little teaser of what the layout looks like. But I'm excited to play it, man. If I'm honest, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to stay on topic with our advertisements that 2K and EA combined have tried to sneak in there and hope they didn't get any backlash. But
what was it the EA were doing, by the way? Let me turn my.
The what?
Hey, I think I know.
Ads when they were
EA?
Is that what Chris is saying? You're saying, or you're talking about microtransactions?
Yeah, microtransactions and shoving advertisements down the throat of people who are just trying to play a fucking game, which is.
It looks like 2K isn't planning on removing the ads entirely. Instead, simply
No, they can't.
see what response fans will get regarding the statement, and which, at this point, these monetary decisions will impact the numbers of sales seen within the franchise. Remember, the game actually got a 6 out of 10 across the board from critics because
2K21.
it was panned as a roster update.
That's the
Well-
same thing that's the same thing that they did with
No shit.
Madden. I mean, yeah, because they don't need to be coming out.
Incredibly.
They
But
they
you're
really
right.
at this point they don't need to come out with a new one every year. The graphics look good enough for them to stay that way for 2 years.
And
like,
just tell everybody
2
to stick
years,
with
right?
on a roster update.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just a money grab at this point. Why the hell would you release the exact same game that didn't improve anything? I mean, the biggest problem that people have with either of those games is the franchise modes, and they didn't even change them.
Like if you came along and said like this game's now running with the Frostbite engine from Motive Games and things like that, and we're running with a new physics engine, and you were like, oh, they put some work into this, then you could say,
Yeah,
oh,
but
this will be-
even then, you played 2K20, right?
Yeah.
It looks fine. It really it's a good looking game.
Identically the same games, just
So-
one place, the New York factory, another place in
It's
the
so
States.
stupid. It just seems. I get it. Your business model is to release a game every year, but yeah,
Come on, it's okay.
I think you'd get a while. I think you'd make more money
I-
off of just a roster update than you would off of trying to
Well,
sell people a whole
That's
game.
the problem. They're making more money, but I don't think as a consumer we need to sit here and rate a game 6 out of 10 because it's a roster update, right? Like it's a
No,
good game.
you're right.
The
You're
whole
right.
point of the game is to get a basketball simulator with the players that are playing today. And I think 2K21 smashes that out of the fucking park. And to get a 6 out of 10 because it's a roster update and doesn't
Yeah,
give us
but
an
it's not
entire
just
generation.
a roster update.
Exactly.
The game did have problems.
So
main
listen,
mode-
Nuke Man just says the 2K games have been a replica of the last one for 3 years in a row. I agree with that. I do say I agree. However, isn't that what's to be expected at this point? And is that us holding
No,
their
I
not
think it's
holding
a
their
bad
feet to the fire?
expectation.
Sure.
That's a poor-
We're
So,
we're
okay,
spending
so
money.
you're-
we're spending $60 for roster updates every
Sure.
year.
So you're expecting them to fully update the game and
Yeah,
rewrite you a brand new game? You know?
Assassin's Creed didn't get better until they started to go biannual, right? So every other year they release an Assassin's. That's why we have 2018 was Odyssey, 2020 is now Valhalla. When they were every single year, they were trash. We were getting Assassin's Creed
You're right.
Rogue,
You're
Assassin's
right.
Creed this, Assassin's Creed
Well,
that.
because
Hold on,
they're
hold
not
on.
innovating.
Time the
They're not
fuck
really
out because
innovating in
time
the
out,
game.
bro. Black Flag introduced when they
Black
were doing
Flag was a
yearly
great
updates.
game.
Those were in their yearly little fucking updates. So I mean, you can't say they were all trash.
Me that buying Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla is as good as buying a 2018 FIFA and a 2020 FIFA. No, they should be fundamentally different games. If you
Yeah, but
bought
Chris,
Assassin's Creed in 2020 and it was Odyssey 2.0, you'd be like, wait, am I Cassandra again with better graphics and there's wind in her hair?
Yeah, I mean,
no,
I
see, I think I'd be mad. What's the
It's like,
difference
what
between
am I
that
saying?
and these remakes that we keep talking about? I mean, fucking 2K21 is basically a fucking remake of 2K20. Like,
That's the problem. You
it's
can't
like
make
ridiculous.
a
It's,
of a game that's already out. I get that people want something new, but let's go biannually with these things, or let's just call it what it needs to be: Madden,
yeah, but
FIFA,
tech,
2K, NBA,
and
2K,
sell roster
NBA.
updates, right? But that's what they should do because technology doesn't evolve that much year after year, but
Why
the
can't
roster
they-
does, you know?
why can't they do updates like Warzone does? Why can't they change modes, add something
Well, I
different,
think Fortnite has
innovate
created
the game?
where, like, I could see NBA Live coming back if they ever got their shit together. I could see them coming back and being like, we're $20.99 a year, and you get to play kick-ass basketball. You know, imagine 2K
Yeah.
basketball, 60, $49.99, $39.99.
How is this not a game of service game? Like, what is going on here? How has that not already been adopted? And it's the answer is because motherfuckers are paying $60. No questions
it.
asked. Every
Yeah.
single year. There's not a question. If you're a 2K player, you're buying that fucking game. And why would
I
they
have-
stop doing that? You
I
know,
have
like,
friends, Dean being one of them, that me also. When when you're done with FIFA 19 and all your friends pick up FIFA 20, you're not playing FIFA 19 anymore. You have 10 friends play FIFA. The same, it's like COD, right? We know that Call of Duty Online is the same as the last 5 Call of Duty Onlines to a
Right.
degree. But once you can't play with your boys, or you're jumping ship. You're like, dang it, dude! Everyone's got Warzone. I'm off.
Well, hold on a minute, because we just had a conversation about that, right? We just had a conversation about Cold War coming out and piggybacking off of Warzone, because why reinvent it?
Mhm.
It's a good system, so they're just going to tie into it. So that's a different way of doing. I mean,
So it's
Well,
ironic
you
y'all brought up
Don't
Cold
get
War.
access to-
Like
The
nuke.
only thing you get from Cold War and Warzone is blended sort of Warzone mode. You will not see any deathmatch modes, no team deathmatch modes. You won't catch the zombie modes. All that is going to be exclusive to the the Cold War game. You have
no,
to
Nick. I'm sorry, Nuke Man. I agree. It's definitely not a replica. Cold War's fantastic. So
Well, it's just a
that's not
different-
the argument.
It's the question is that Cold War. What to bring you in on a little pregame conversation that we had about Cold War? They're introducing a Warzone match, which we're wondering, is this going to be a rip off of the recent Warzone map that has been available to us over the last couple of months? And the question, I believe, is no. I think it's going to be more like how they treat Team Deathmatch, where because it has Team Deathmatch and the last game has Team Deathmatch, doesn't make it a replica. It makes it that this is a new game mode that we should come to expect in almost all games, is a battle royale aspect. It's just something that has proven very successful for game developers, and to them not to include it when you're a first-person shooter would almost seem like political suicide. You're just going to include it, period, you know?
There was a lot of work to make Warzone work, and now it's working and it's successful. You don't just go and try to move everybody to another thing. Like, people like this. It would be like them making a Fortnite 2 this year. You don't make a Fortnite 2. You stick to the Fortnite and the model that you've got going. Now they've got their own Fortnite model where you buy battle passes. It would be like Apex 2 coming out now. Scrap that shit right now. And let's just go. We learned that with Among Us.
It just
Among
wouldn't
Us was
be any reason.
Among Us was really close to making Among Us 2.
And they
their game
stopped.
popped from they released that game 2 years ago. And they're like, yo, everything that was going in Among Us, because they don't want to lose their player base. They're like,
Right.
fuck it. We are installed millions of devices. Why would we
No, you're correct, Nuke Man. That's
Sell it again.
Yeah, no, you're correct. But we know that it's made by two separate companies. But the thing is, I think what we were talking about is the fact that that Treyarch, they're both going to work together with Warzone. I think, right? That
Yeah,
both
100%.
games are going to
Treyarch
use Warzone
and,
together, which is interesting.
Are going to both focus heavily on building collaboration.
Because it's a huge market here. I mean,
Well,
this
it's money
is
for everybody, right? They say, like, look, do
Absolutely.
you want us to build something and take half your player base? No. Do you want us to keep running and take half your player base? No. So should we just work together and have the player base? Like, we're both COD at this point. I feel like the development teams are just separated now, like we talked about in the pre-show.
that's interesting.
One is developed with period pieces like World War II, World of Black Ops, all those events that take place in the mid 70s, 80s, early 90s, and then Modern Warfare is focusing heavily on, or at least Infinity War focusing heavily. I think we're in line for a Modern Warfare 2 remaster, like, and it is coming, and it will be.
Don't
Damn.
It'll have the
Don't
no
fuck
tease
Russian-
with me.
it'll have the no Russian missions,
tease me.
it'll have it all.
That would be
100%.
really nice. Really
It'll
nice.
be a redesigned version. The way that Call of Fair was the one that just came out was a re-visualized. Mike talks about remakes. It was a re-visualized version of the original that came out in 2005. So, might have been a bit later, but yeah, I'm excited for Call of Duty and seeing.
I think Cold War. I think Cold War is going to be another
Smash it.
Our
smash.
our topics have gone a little bit off course on this one, hasn't it?
All right, so what's our next one? This was just
I enjoyed the riveting little sidetrack there, but we have gone a little bit off course.
It took us on an adventure.
It did.
It did. And speaking of adventures,
Speaking of adventures of walking in a different direction, yeah,
symbols to segue us.
you should
Yeah,
get
Death
one.
Stranding is a game. We have a section of the show called Late to the
Oh
Party,
hell yeah!
and and during Late to the Party is where we talk about games that you could pick up now for less than you could pick them up when they originally dropped. Right now, you could essentially pick up Death Stranding on the PSN PlayStation Network for $30. It's actually $60 currently on the PC because it only came out about
Mhm.
months ago, weeks
Yep.
ago. But it's made by Kojima Studios, the mastermind behind games like
I
Metal
don't
Gear
know if that's
Solid.
accurate.
What? He's the what?
Did we ever double check that it was in fact made by Kojima Studios? I typed that in a little faded.
Of course.
It
Of
is.
course.
It is.
It's actually Kojima Productions.
I know
Yeah.
it was Kojima, but I didn't know if his productions company was named Kojima Studios.
Productions.
All right,
Same
good.
fucking
Thank
thing.
God.
When you play Metal Gear Solid 5, all of the soldiers have on their side Kojima and Dead Dogs or whatever it is.
Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. Metal Gear Solid 5 was the biggest surprise I've ever had in my life, honestly.
It was a treat, right?
The
It was
biggest
such a
surprise I ever had in my
weird-
life.
Weird game though.
So it was weird, in the best fucking way, bro. In the
Yeah,
best
I
way.
agree.
Do you think
I agree.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is weird? You wait till you get into the game. This game takes the cake on weird, runs with it, and has a birthday party. It's insane. This game takes. You think that you have a good idea of what's going on, Mike? It's about to flip you upside down, wrap you in the rug, throw you in the van, and take you for a ride.
Is that true?
God.
So
I love that.
Luke-
I'm buying
Luke
that shit
said
tomorrow.
that Warzone is not free to play. Cold War Warzone.
Hold on. Can we explain what the fuck you're talking about? Because I see what the chat says. It says Cold War Warzone is not free to play. That's why I don't know if it will get many downloads to play Warzone. Because why would you pay $60 to play something that's free on a different game? That's why I feel they will change it
I
out.
thought that Cold War adds some to Warzone.
Hold on.
Well, I
So
guess
is Warzone free?
Listen. Warzone is free. Okay?
Warzone's
And
free. You can play Warzone for free right now. It's a
Of
free game.
course, yeah, it's always
Right now.
Warzone itself has
only
always been a free to play portion.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can download it on PC.
It's a battle royale. It doesn't have
Correct.
single player mode or team
No,
deathmatch
well,
or
we
team
know that.
domination. None
I
of
just
that.
always played it through the game that I had already bought. I didn't realize there was a Warzone
because
segment.
people
Oh,
on the
yeah.
PC, it would
Yeah,
just
you can
look
just
harder
download Warzone
I didn't know
for
that.
free for nothing.
However, to answer Newman's question and to set the record straight,
It
yes,
adds-
Black Ops Cold War Warzone will feature cross-play and cross-support generational play for both multiplayer and Warzone. So they are linking
Yeah.
the two together.
No, he's asking, is Cold
Right, but
War's
he's
Warzone free to play or not? Because
Yep, because it is tied into the actual.
No, he's saying it's not free
he's
to play.
saying it's not. You got to buy Cold War in order to play Cold War's version of Warzone, is what he's saying.
See, I thought that Cold War was going to add to Warzone, or I guess it does, but you have to pay for their
Hold
version of
on.
that.
Look, Black Ops Cold War will usher in Chapter 2 of Call of Duty's Warzone,
Okay.
continuing and expanding the blockbuster free-to-play for everyone. The Battle Royale experience. Black
Damn it,
Ops will
Nukeman,
share-
you're wrong!
Black Ops will share progression, so items in the game will carry over for you into Chapter. So Chapter 2 is going to be a Black Ops chapter.
Wow, that's actually cool as hell.
That is neat.
I'm
So
very
you
excited.
don't have to buy Cold War to experience that, of course.
No, it's free to play, which is also super cool that I didn't know Warzone was free to play. Like, that's awesome to know. I didn't know.
Because they're making their money off of the whatever I just said, the battle passes.
Mhm.
If you get in there and you want to get any new skins for your guns or any guns, as
$10.
well, certain- under $10, and $10 is like when you're playing a game you love and you're like, dude, I want to unlock some stuff. You know what I mean? You're
Apex
like,
got 40 out of me before I stopped with the battle pass bullshit. I
So-
was 40 deep, yeah.
So we did segue a bit again, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we dropped back. So Death Stranding. We're gonna drop back to
Kojima
Death Stranding.
Productions.
Yep.
all right.
So is it worth? The question is, Nick, and you've played more than Mike has. I know Mike's 3
Yes,
hours in.
Yep.
And Nick,
Yep.
you're probably what 10, 12 hours into the game.
Maybe.
For $30 at GameStop, should someone like me, who is a fan of story and lore and some weird shit, jump into GameStop for $30 and pick myself up some Death Stranding? Would you recommend it to our viewer base for $30?
It's a tough one. I
Yeah,
don't wanna-
your opinion matters to me, man. You're good at this shit. So let me know, because I will literally get in my car tomorrow and go buy it, because I love weird shit. And Hideo Kojima impressed the shit out of me with fucking Metal Gear Solid 5. So I want to see what he and according to him, Metal Gear Solid 5, he was under some restrictive, creative restrictions. Here he has no creative restrictions. I am very curious what he has brought to the table with no creative restrictions. He's a weird dude. Is this too weird, or is this something that for $30 we can get into some and kind of read between the lines and see what's inside the mind of a arguable genius? He has Guillermo del Toro on staff too here.
So what happened is this year, very divisive game that the people that played it went two ways on. Right, so much like The Last of Us, some people say they went too far and it wasn't the story that they wanted to see, so people disliked the game. Other people, like myself, was very, very impressed with the risks that they took, and so the game played off in spades for me. With Death Stranding, you get what you pay for, right? Which is a 30-hour mind fuck Kojima Studios, and you are looking at, or productions, you're looking at a game that on its at its core seems very understandable, that you are in this future world, and that you have this bridge baby. Bridge baby is able to, and this is no spoilers, this is all learned within the first 10 minutes of the game. The bridge baby is able to speak to the other side meaning people that have crossed over and died. The bridge baby is a tool. It's not something that you should care too much about. If your bridge baby, quote, dies or becomes unconscious, it's not something that you should cry about in the game. The way that they set it up is that this is a tool for you to use, and you should look at it no differently than you use your boots.
Well, and the way that it's connected to your suit can mess you up. It can take you down especially him.
The way that they also later in the story connect you and your bridge baby so that it's no longer just a tool. It becomes, there's a cutscene that takes place very early in the game that I won't get into detail about, but he makes the decision that it's mine.
So the real question again, for $30, pass or play? Would you?
So it's like I said, if you are the type of person that you like the idea of going on these long walks, because it's a walking simulator, right? So I could recommend this to anybody that likes truck simulator, flight simulator, because you are managing your resources, right? You are managing your stamina.
Nuke Man dropping the
motherfucker. With some spoiler alert.
I'm actually, you know what? I'm not far enough in the game to have any idea whether that's true or not. But
he says, "Isn't the baby to save the end of the world?"
I don't know. The baby talks to the beach. The beach is the place where you go in when you're in purgatory, right? So that's in between and life and
which
death.
is where he goes when he sleeps, pretty much.
Yeah, and then when you speak to that woman who you're supposed to be wife/mom or whatever, that is all happening on the beach, which is happening in purgatory, which you'll learn more about it as you go on. I would recommend it at $30. I think that you can't go wrong, because if you don't like a $30 game, I paid $30 for Disco Elysium. I didn't really like it, but I don't think about it every day. The same way that if I bought Avengers, like I did, for $60, I think about on a regular basis.
Hey, that game's going to be good in about 6 months.
So Mike, Nick blames you terribly for his Avengers purchase.
Look, if me and you went and jumped on it right now to go and play, we'd have a good time playing.
Dude, I want to level up my character level 150.
Yeah, except it would take you 500 years.
Yeah. 500. Right now, Greg Miller's got a level 125, and his friends.
Oh, does he really? Yeah, but getting from where they are right now to 150 is like a.
They did say it was a massive.
Oh my god, dude! It's like massive grind.
To stay on topic, yes, I recommend Death Stranding if you like the sound of the rain beating off the rocks.
That's okay if it's true.
If you like to manage your inventory, right? So like you have to take a ladder with you and lay the ladder down across the street.
I love that shit. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Your
that's my type of game.
When your boots wear out, out too much, you have to sit down and take them off, and he picks the shards of like rocks out of his feet, and like you get tired, so he can crouch down up against and puts the baby like this, and he finds a place to put his head, and he real time.
It's
Sit there
yeah.
as he's sleeping, and his stamina goes up and everything.
So,
when you-
so that is
like,
the
when
gripe
you're-
that I'm worried about, right? I know this. I know the cutscenes are like some of them are like an hour and a half long cutscenes. That's a little wild to me. Scenes like that where I need to get my stamina up. So now it's going to take me 4 minutes while my character goes back here and holds the baby, and I'm sitting here like waiting for him to get done holding the fucking baby, and I'm like,
You can take
okay, this is cool, I guess, you know.
Get you moving and things like that, and like you control your balance with the triggers. So when you are being chased, you're like running, but you're using the control.
Dude, all right. So that part right there is kind of that's kind of interesting to me, and it takes a little bit to get used to that. While you run, you have to balance your weight of what you're carrying.
And if you hold both triggers, he'll
hold
never
on
drop
to
anything. He'll hold like this.
but you also move slower. You sacrifice speed
Slower.
doing that.
The trick is to balance it out between the two, so that when he's falling this way, he
You're
starts
going the other
this,
way.
and then he
Yeah.
goes straight, and he's actually running quite quickly.
Mhm.
And but you can trip over rocks, and then
Oh
your
yeah, that sucks.
materials go into the river.
You get
and then
hurt.
They wash down the river, and you've got wet packages that are now destroyed. The rain.
You might have to
has-
spend an hour looking for him to go get
the
him
rain
again.
has
That's
acid in
interesting.
it. The rain has acid and corrosive materials in it. So the rain destroys your backpack.
I
over
thought that but the rain to your body actually speeds up time, right? Isn't that what it is?
time. There are time weather storms in the game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there are certain things that happen with the weather, but yeah, I would recommend it to you right now. I think that any game for $30 that is this. You said you like unique and weird. If you mean that, right? Like if
Right.
you're not just saying that to say it to look cool. If you do like the idea of being engrossed in a story that you can think of writing yourself, then yeah, 100% $30.
I think you're gonna go wow.
It's a game that I'm gonna rebuy it for the PC, right? Because now everybody's talking about it.
It looks it looks incredible.
But at the same time, you know what you're getting yourself into when you get games. You know, I don't sign on to Truck Simulator and immediately say this is going to be this fucking 2-hour game of my life. I get on, it's relaxing, it's fun, and I enjoy it. And if you get that out of Walking Simulator, which is Death Stranding, go for it. You know what I mean? If you enjoy Walking Simulator, there's other times where you like use your ladder to climb up the rocks, and then you set post in the ground and you rappel down the rocks with your rope as far as you can go. Sometimes it's not long enough, and you're like dangling halfway down the cliff. You have to like figure out another way down.
I actually love that. I love every bit of that.
Bro, honestly, Chris, you'd be running through. It's incredible.
Unlock a
When you-
motorcycle. The
when
game
you-
starts with him on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Actually, he like
Yeah.
has an accident and it breaks, and obviously that's in a cutscene so that you don't have the bike in the beginning. But I had the bike and everything. I had a car in that game.
when you get to a point in the beginning where you're like running through a massive field for a while, it like the game zooms out and this fantastic music comes up.
They do say
And
the
it's
music's
like you're watching a fucking movie intro. Like
Yep.
it's
Mike, that
pretty,
makes you
it's
cry, doesn't
it-
it? The view,
dude,
the view goes so far away, and you're like
Dude,
this big.
it's insane. It's
And
it's
the
really
music's
cool.
like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Chris, you're gonna.
Oh my God.
Honestly, this is a game. This is a game for people just like you.
I'm
It
interested.
really is.
I told Nick I was interested before, right? And then I kind of changed my
I
mind a
was an early
touch.
adopter. I bought
Yeah,
it on
Nick-
day
Nick,
one.
yeah, Nick,
I
Nick,
talked so much shit about it.
Nick dove in full force on this game, and I did not.
I've seen 3 of the bosses. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I did not jump in all hands on deck, and I wanted to. When they were talking about the game, I was like, I'm so
You wanna know
interested.
about combat?
Yeah, I mean, a little. Yeah, I mean, I know the combat's there. I'm not so interested in combat because combat to me in every game seems static unless it's
This
the
game's cool.
unless it's
Like,
The Witcher, right? Like
you're
The Witcher's
playing-
the only game I've ever played where combat and Last of Us didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel the same as every other game I've ever played. You know, combat is combat in video games. I feel like very few games really like knock it out of the park with their unique spin on combat. You
This
know,
game has you throwing a lot of grenades. It's like a lot of like electro pulse grenades, which have an effect on creatures in the game. So you'll be like, I don't want to give anything away. Did you guys watch many trailers on it? Did you ever see
I have not.
any of the oily monsters or the whales or
None of that.
squishies?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a handful of that stuff, but I don't remember a whole lot of it.
Takes over the whole map to the point where everything you've seen in the world becomes an oil spill, and you're now being washed away at 50 miles an hour to another part of the map. Even while you're fighting this boss, if you don't get away from this, let's call it, and I'm not going to say what it is, we'll call it a whale. Let's say there's this giant oily whale that's jumping around and splashing and attacking you. As soon as the oil hits a point where it covers your body, you're now being dragged around the map, and now you start in another part of the map with the whale still jumping around.
The oil spill parts creep me out. I mean, it's kind of a creepy game. I mean, it is, and I'm
like
not
that
really
about
to the point where,
in the cave.
yeah, I mean, I'm not really to the point where I completely understand what's going on with the. You do, but you don't. It's a lot to take in. But
yeah, with Hideo stuff or Hideo Kojima stuff, you won't find out much until the last 3 hours.
Yeah,
You'll be on the floor, and I've heard it's like a 25-hour, 30-hour game.
There's online features, I believe, where you, I think at least.
No, there is. There's the online. It's an always online game. Bridge, and then I drive, and then I come to the game. It was Mike Durant built this bridge, and I'll be
Gotcha.
like, oh, awesome. And I'll jump in,
Be right back.
drive the bridge. Same with Chris. If Chris leaves me a motorcycle, you can leave. I could leave you a pair of boots that are really good inside a locker. And because we're friends, when you go to that locker and you open it up, there's your boots right there.
That's pretty cool.
It's nice. It's nice having that shared world. Also, like if you post in the ground with a ladder, it'll say this ladder was left.
Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday when I was trying to go places. There were like ladders in the ground where it would help me get up like the mountain and stuff like that. So that was awesome.
I think that feels good that you feel like you're connected to another person.
But the world, it is a beautiful. It's a beautiful and very scary world of a game because it's. I don't know. I'm excited to see more of the story because the beginning.
Let's graphically, the last thing we'll say about it. How do you feel running on badass?
Yeah. I mean, it's 100 frames throughout, never stopped.
So good.
What was that?
Yeah, man, take it away. What we're going to talk about in a minute, these clowns.
Sorry, I thought I heard my animals fighting.
Oh, dude, no problem at all. We're gonna get into the tech talk, and we can probably get into that without Chris here because he's not gonna be the guy really diving into it. But Mike recently got the Quest 2.
Yes, I did.
And last week when we talked about it, or maybe even 2 weeks ago, we talked about how it was going to require a link cable to play games, and then Mike found out that that wasn't the case. That perhaps the virtual desktop would work. Take it away with a little bit of gameplay he has for you.
Yeah, so and actually Chris could have a little bit of input to this because I took it over his house over the weekend and he got to play it. So I've gotten to spend a lot more time in virtual reality since I got my Quest 2, and as you can see, I now have the carrying pack for it, which looks like an egg.
Open it up, dude. Open it up.
Oh, you want to open it up? All right, let's do it.
Is that soft relief case as well?
Yeah,
it is. Ooh, there she is.
Yep, there we go.
Dude. I like how it all fits in there too.
Yeah, it fits in here perfectly, and my battery backup will fit in there too. So what can I say? Half-Life Alyx runs fantastically. When I finally got Virtual Desktop to work, I had a little bit of a problem on my computer that I found out was my computer. I thought it was Virtual Desktop at first, and I actually reached out to the developer on Discord, and they answered me back and said, yeah, we haven't really heard about an issue like that. I didn't see anybody else that was complaining about it, and I did a full format on my hard drives and reinstall Windows, whatever. It fixed a lot of other problems I was having as well, so that's great. So Virtual Desktop now works perfectly. I get audio. I have everything up to the highest settings you can. I did, to note, buy a Wi-Fi 6 capable router, which is kind of a big deal for a device like this that's streaming a ton of data back and forth and as fast as you possibly can, right? Mm-hmm. So with Wi-Fi 6, you get 1200 megahertz instead of 800. So you get a ton more bandwidth to the headset. It allows for a lot lower latency. So I turned everything all the way up. Immaculate. It was perfect. I played Alex for 2+ hours and had zero problems. Maybe there was 1 or 2 milliseconds in I think an area that I was in towards the end of my play period where I got a little bit of a blip. Other than that, nothing throughout the entire 2.5 hour playthrough. I mean, it was perfect. It was everything that I hoped that Virtual Desktop would be.
And where were you when you experienced this? Sorry, I obviously
home.
wasn't here. You were home, but
At
like
home.
here in your.
Yeah, playing Virtual Desktop.
So have you tried it in a remote setup where you weren't near?
I have not yet. I have not, but I would expect that the latency is going to be worse just by design. I mean, and what it's doing. It's not only does it have to send, where your headset's moving, it needs to send. No, I went over to his.
Yeah, but we weren't playing Virtual Desktop. We were all playing everything that was built into the headset.
Which by itself, what did you think, Chris?
So I loved it. I mean, I gotta say, I'm a cheapskate bastard, and I absolutely want to spend $299 on that right now. Enough to where I'm literally.
Thanks,
yeah. I'm literally begging. I want one bad. My brother wants one bad. The way that those documentaries were filmed, and I was trying to explain it to Nick about how it's like the perspective from being on. We watched a documentary where it was on top of a mountaintop, and you could see the way that the climbers were climbing up the mountain. And in my opinion, media and documentaries in that capacity will be nothing. There will be no other way to watch media other than this within the next 10 years, in my opinion. It was that much better. It was to a scale that was it was illegible, the difference between watching this in Quest 2 and how it was filmed and watching television and watching the same documentary. If I was watching that on TV or if I was watching on Quest 2, there's not a comparison. They are two completely different scenarios. And I loved it entirely. I mean, I gotta say, I not just loved it, but I believe that the future will hold this. I've been a big proponent that VR is a gimmick for years.
You and most people feel that way.
And this was the first time where I could sit on my couch and watch that documentary every time. Now watching a documentary like that on my television is going to feel like, fuck this.
Seems like you're missing something.
Seems like you're missing something. It doesn't feel like I'm part of this. And media, in my opinion, is going to push in that direction. That's going to propel VR light years ahead of itself within the next 10 years. I think like we're focused so much on gaming, but we're really need to be focused more on the media aspect, the television aspect, the documentary aspect,
Well, and that's what's so great about the introductory price of this headset and not requiring the extra $1,000 for a gaming computer.
For $299, I can watch documentaries on Discovery Channel all day long, and I think that's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's I'll tell you, my experience has been fantastic. I do think that, and from what I've heard, they can with software updates fix some of the black levels, but I can see where some people are complaining about the black levels because it is a little it's not you don't get as good a blacks as you'd hope, but it's an LCD screen, so that's to be expected over OLED. So that's not a surprise. But supposedly
that's a big bitch, man. That's a petty bitch.
I don't notice it much except for a loading screen. That's the only time I notice it at all, and typically because there's just like the white O on the screen and just a black background. In Alex, which is a darker game, I honestly don't notice it. And most of that game is dark because you're going through like sewers and back alleys and things like that. I just haven't picked it up that much, but I'll tell you what, the screen looks good. It's such high quality that you don't even notice it.
Your jaw drops to the floor.
You're looking at everything else. Yeah. I mean, I played that game. What was the shooting game that we were playing?
I couldn't remember. I told Nick it was Robo.
No,
but that wasn't it. But it was good. It was very good. Yeah, Robo Recall, but that wasn't the one that we played. Hey, Nick, real quick, Nukeman's asking if he can help you tonight. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but...
Oh, yeah, it's in the stream and stuff. Yeah, probably tonight. And if after this, I'll probably go, I might just jump on some streaming or even go watch some Netflix. But we will get it done. And what we will do tonight is throw your Discord handle back.
He did. He put it. It's in the chat right now. We have it here.
Mhm.
So
All right, I'm 100% doing the add you tonight.
Yeah.
I've told him tonight for like the last week. Done.
we'll get you in the Discord. Nuke. We
Bad
promise you that.
streamer.
We promise you.
Bad to our fans.
Also, Mike, he said he liked your setup too.
Yeah, I saw that. I said thank you. I appreciate that.
It is dope. But we always talk about Mike's like comic book setup and how his microphone is just so.
I need a
well-pressed.
better capture card. That's why I'm not using my good
Speaking of
camera.
microphones, I'm like leaning all the way back. Like
Yeah,
Wow,
bro,
you
Nick,
sound 10 times better.
You sounded like the whole stream, bro. You've been like back there somewhere over there in the back corner
so
going,
funny.
my name's Nick Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Long day.
So
Let's
what
see
did?
else we
So
got.
what was our next?
I got it here.
Alright.
So we
Oh,
enjoyed
new
that.
on demand.
What's new on demand?
You had Borat. That's
oh,
coming up
yeah.
here soon.
Yeah, Borat's getting smash hit reviews. IGN giving it 10. Many people talking about the new interviews that are going to be in the in the show itself. It comes out this Friday, which is pretty exciting. That's the 23rd of October. And if it's anything like his previous work, it should be an interesting watch.
And
for
there's a lot more to
everybody,
work with on this administration than the one he did last time.
100%.
Yeah, I've heard
I
they've
think
gotten
that-
quite a few interesting interviews.
Rudy
And it's surprisingly-
Giuliani's making actual news on this.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, I saw
I'm
that
curious-
earlier
I'm so
today.
curious.
You noticed that in the trailer for the movie, I can't wear this. I have to go to a store, and he's like buying a Halloween outfit to dress up in. And so apparently, for most of it, he's not even really Borat. He's these other characters, which we've come to love in that previous show that he did 4 years ago. When
Yeah.
This Is America.
This is America
And
is
then
amazing.
They
man.
said that the big one was they said that at that convention they took 5 hours to get him made up in makeup to look like Trump, and they said they did it all in the bathroom. They thought they were gonna get caught. They snuck all the makeup in and everything, and it took 5 hours to get him all made up for that final scene. Like apparently it is good.
I'm so excited. I really am so excited. And I'm not even that much of a progressive, and
Of
I'm
course,
excited to
there's-
watch it. You know?
This channel runs it pretty much right down the middle. you
Yeah.
know, So that's kind of what's great about us all. We're all
Yeah.
friends, and we look at the news and we say like, "What the fuck?" But at the same time, it is what it is. Also on this movie, reprising his role in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I saw that.
What is it? HBO? No, it's not HBO. Yeah, it is. It's HBO Max, whatever
Yep.
it's called. They've got that happening. So that's interesting.
I'm
Jared
happy
Leto
for that.
is going to film new scenes because he didn't really have any scenes. He wasn't in that. He was in Suicide Squad, so
Yep.
he
Yes.
had no scenes in
Yep.
Justice League. So it'd
So-
be interesting to see how they tie that narrative in.
Am I not wrong to say that Jared Leto got ripped to pieces playing Joker in Suicide Squad?
Oh,
I didn't-
absolutely.
He did, but
So how did they call the guy who got ripped to shreds playing Joker to play the Joker in another movie?
Because he still
How-
wanted to play it, even when
What the
even when
fuck?
the Joker-
How
So
many?
So I don't get the hate though. I mean, what was wrong with it? That's how the character was written. I mean,
he
maybe
played. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It should
I don't
be
think it was. I don't think it was acted
It's like
bad.
the hate for. It's like the hate for Jar Jar Binks when it's like I just played the character you
Right.
wrote. You know what I mean? Like you wrote me to have metal teeth,
So-
and crazy
so-
hair, and tattoos on me.
Sure. Okay,
I mean,
I'll
he's
give you that.
eccentric.
You
He's
wrote me
fucking
to drive a
Joker.
pink Lamborghini. You know, like nothing about the character was grounded. And if Zack Snyder gets it correct and does it the way that it's his vision this time, like he got, like I said to you, $500,000 from Warner Brothers to make all the new shots, the CGI, maybe even 500 million. I can't remember what it was. It was a big budget to go back and reshoot all this stuff. So
I mean, the script matters, obviously, right?
and
So,
it's
like,
being- it's being shown over 6 1-hour episodes on TV. You know what I mean? It's not going to be released as a movie. It's a 6-hour extravaganza.
okay,
that's
I
gonna
could
pull a
get
lot of
behind
people in,
that.
especially in this pandemic when
Now-
you have a lot to watch.
Speaking of Batman, did you see the new one? Might be a little heavy on the enemies, and I find that movies that don't have an established enemy have a big fucking problem. And this one apparently now adds everyone is in it. Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze,
Two-Face,
like
Freeze.
Penguin.
I mean, fucking. Literally, I think there's like 15 enemies inside this
Yeah.
movie. I think
Riddler
it's
and
gonna have
Scarecrow were in there.
I'm a little worried about this.
Well, we can
Yeah.
speculate, right? But I don't really like speculating about movies because there's a lot of times that directors and writers find a way to surprise us all the time. And I agree with you when that's one of the reasons that I have not yet, and I hate to admit this on live, watched any of the Avengers conglomeration movies, right? None of them.
I hate to even hear you say that.
I know, and I hate to hear me say that because I've come to realize that I'm probably very wrong. And
You're so wrong.
however, my argument is that I'm a huge character progression enthusiast, right? I don't know if that's the right way to put it. I'm a couple beverages deep. However, but there's not enough screen time for each character, right? When you shove in something like Infinity War and you shove 17
They all get
superheroes
their own
together,
screen time
bro,
in their own
they
movies.
all must
And
get
then
they
it's
all must
about them
get
being
about
together.
4 minutes.
How can you
They-
say that?
They all
Get
get
him
4
done.
minutes
How can you
together,
say that?
bro.
They all-
Whatever.
Every
That's-
character literally has their own movies.
Trash. That's fanboys just being like,
Oh.
"Oh my God, there's my favorite Mr. Strange. There's my
It's so
favorite
far
Black
from fan
Panther,"
service.
and they're all just like, "Oh, thank God, I got 4 minutes to watch my character go shoot a fireball at the bad guy." Like that's what these movies are doing, and I'm
$1 million
probably
movies, and Chris is
I-
like, it's fucking awful.
because there's a market for it because people love jerking off to their favorite superhero
bro,
shooting a
it's-
fireball for 4 minutes in a big partner buddy movie, and that's what's going on here, and I could be wrong again. I've never even seen it, so I'm probably very wrong. Take my shit with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
But
My
Do you
God,
remember?
yeah,
Do you remember? Thanks. Do you remember the scene in Infinity Wars? I mean,
haven't
can
seen
you?
it.
Can you?
Haven't seen it.
I know. I'm saying you, Nick.
Oh, go
I mean,
Disney.
just remember. Just think about when everybody just pops in,
Dude.
and I mean,
it's like the best jerk off moment you've ever had in any superhero movie. It's just like they're all there. Yes, they're all
How
there in
really-
one
how-
scene.
like,
Oh my
I don't
God.
you can't even put spoiler warnings up for the biggest movie ever. So like whatever. The way that what Thanos does to Loki in the
Oh my
intro
God.
of Infinity War when he snaps his fucking neck is insane. Insane. When they're like, oh, by the way, this character we've spent
one of the most beloved characters in the
Oh, by
entire.
the way, this is how quick Thanos is going to actually kill him. Boom, you're done. You're not on scene anymore. You can go have your fucking Netflix show. He literally grabs him by his throat. You're done. And you're like, oh, that's how powerful this motherfucker is. He's taking people out who had 3 fucking...
Yeah, they probably had 3 movies, and we got about 7 minutes showing Loki get his neck snapped.
No,
Right,
bro,
like-
Loki was in...
Loki was.
But Loki is like the main...
He was the main Avengers, the first Avengers enemy, because he
Bad guy,
came.
yeah.
Yeah, he came and brought all the aliens into the world, and
He was in Age of Ultron, but only as a prisoner, right?
I actually watched that one. That's the only like buddy style one I watched, and I was like,
and Age of Ultron is probably the worst out of the Avengers.
it
one.
was terrible. I was not a fan. I'm like, this is
God,
whack.
dude.
The best Avengers movie out to date, if you don't count how awesome the 2 Spider-Man movies are.
Oh come on, Ragnarok is. I think Ragnarok's still my favorite
Ragnarok,
for sure.
Nick has been telling me that for years.
Ragnarok is
Yeah.
genius. It
Yeah.
You
is
can watch it without
gold.
seeing anything else and be like,
hilarious.
how is this so funny? And how is like putting Mark Ruffalo and fucking what's his name together in a movie and not having
Perfect.
anyone else
Perfect.
is so good.
Yeah.
And Mark's always like, I don't want to, and he's like, oh, shut up, little. It's,
All right, new Doug.
I'm-
He's like, why can't you let the big green guy out? He's like, we're having problems lately. I don't even know how I got to this planet. They're not even on Earth. Somehow they suck them away from Earth.
That's so good.
And they're on another planet, like in space with the Guardians of the Galaxy and shit like that. Like it's
Chris,
got Jeff Goldblum in it.
If you don't like, watch Ragnarok. If you don't like it, don't watch any
So-
more of the
I
movie.
told him that.
No,
for years.
so-
I was like,
any
no,
more of the
Nick
movie.
is-
You're gonna watch that movie. No, you don't have to. It's a standalone movie.
I need to establish myself here for a second, okay? I love Iron Man. I love Mr. Strange. I love the Spider-Man franchise. I love all
Did you
of
just
those
say
things.
Mr. Strange?
Doctor Strange. I might have, like I said. All right, but the fact remains that the buddy movie concept, in any capacity, in any
we're
franchise,
not talking about
right?
fucking Avengers. You just said you liked Iron Man.
I do.
You
I
liked
will.
that.
Thor is my favorite. Of Thor and Iron Man 1 are probably my two favorite
You don't
ones.
know how they redesigned Thor for Ragnarok.
Yes,
In
they
Thor
did.
1
Yeah,
and Thor 2, he is not the same guy that he is in Thor 3. They took the script, tore it in half, threw it out the window, and they're like, let's just make him funny. Really,
it came out.
really
It
funny.
came out gold.
So in my opinion, Thor, the first Thor movie, is personally my favorite. Now, from someone who's never watched Ragnarok,
Natalie
you know,
Portman.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, how can you say the first Thor is personally my favorite movie, but I won't watch Ragnarok?
I will watch Ragnarok. I'm not saying I won't, but I'm saying that
2016.
I'm saying that the buddy movie concept, which sparked this whole conversation, I don't disagree that Ragnarok's probably a fantastic
We weren't
movie.
talking about buddy movies.
Right.
You were talking
Right.
about big
No,
Avengers.
we are talking about buddy movies because we're talking about like the whole Jared Leto
Yeah, but
concept
Chris,
being 15
Chris,
enemies in a movie.
Each
Remember,
of these
that's where this all
characters-
started.
Each of the characters in these Avengers movies have 3 of their own standalone movies, except
And
Black
what
Panther.
and
I
what
mean,
I'm
it's
trying to stress to Chris
it's
is
ridiculous.
Suicide Squad has like 10 fucking people on screen.
Yeah.
Fucking Avengers has like 15 people on screen. All you have with fucking Thor is Hulk and fucking Thor. And they're in space and they don't know why they're there and they're fucking trying to figure it out together. And Thor and Hulk cannot change back. And he can talk. And he's all like, I fucking don't want to be him anymore. I like being fucking like this. It's so good.
I'm out.
It
I'll
is-
I'll watch that.
it's-
I'll watch
it is.
that. Yeah.
But I think anybody would tell you that if you're gonna watch one that kind of sparks you wanting to watch the rest, it's going to be
And all
Ragnarok.
he has to do, to me, is watch the intro where he's in the cage.
Oh my
and
God,
he goes
spinning
back
around.
and he goes, hold on, I'll be back in a moment. And he's like talking shit to the devil, Chris. He's like, hold on.
This thing is
Yes,
just
so I will kick your ass again when I come around. And then around again. Like, I'm sorry. And the
good.
scene, I won't spoil it, but the scene with the dragon mic,
oh,
with the
bro.
gate, and he's like, open the gate! Open the gate! And he's swinging the fucking hammer.
Like Chris doesn't understand the feeling of when. Oh my God!
I understand the feeling. I get it.
Thor's hammer. No, but like
I
in
get it.
Avengers, what happens with Thor's hammer at the end?
I
And
get-
hold on.
like,
Hold on. Oh yeah, he doesn't get that. But also, you know
I
the guy
know.
that opens the gate in with the sword?
Idris Elba.
No, not the black
The
guy,
guy
the
who
one
he-
who replaces him. That's Butcher from
Oh yeah.
from The Boys. He's just
Yeah.
got a shaved head. He's like telling
Yeah.
the lady, "Oi, these are my
Oi."
machine guns. I took them from Earth. This one's called like my balls, and this one's called my shaft." It's so
So
good.
good. It's so good. It is
That's
really good.
great. We're gonna have Disney Plus subscriptions all across the board. If you guys have a, doesn't matter. That's fine. We're gonna do a watch along of Thor Ragnarok with this guy, and he's gonna sit down and watch it with
So
us. And
I'm again not saying I'm not gonna love Ragnarok. I think I will love it. I think that buddy movies like Batman, especially with Jared Leto as the fucking
They're
Joker.
not- but that's the thing. We know that the DC movies haven't touched Marvel. They haven't. So
Yeah.
that's a bad comparison.
But DC is trying to figure out like what Avengers did, and they're like, oh, these guys love jerking off to all of their favorite villains being on camera at the same time, so I'm going to
Yeah, but
shove
they don't-
all of them in
It's not
together.
the same. They don't have the relatable characters like Marvel does. They just don't. The characters that Marvel has put together are far more likable and way better written. I mean, how many fucking Batman
That's
have
fair.
we had?
That's absolutely fair.
God damn, we've only had one. We've only had. Think about Marvel.
One of
They
all of
still
them.
They still haven't figured out what to do with Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, obviously, it's a different studio that's doing that, but
yeah,
still.
imagine if Iron Man was
we-
played by 4 different people over the last 10 years, right? Instead of Robert Downey Jr. as fucking
I mean,
Iron
come
Man.
on.
You know, I mean, there's a big
Right,
difference.
there's a
Big
huge difference.
you know?
It's they have put their heart and soul into those movies, and you can tell.
I wouldn't doubt that if Robert Downey Jr. doesn't come across another gem, that he'll be back in. I don't mean no time,
We'll see.
time, but
We'll see.
they
I
want
like.
to talk about a resurgence of after this slowdown. They're gonna need something to bring this movies back on track.
I'll tell you what's another good one that I think gets overlooked a little bit is Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man is a
Great.
fantastic set of movies.
I watched
Hilarious.
Ant-Man and Wasp.
You don't watch Ant-Man 2. Funny enough, the whole reason I understand Infinity War. There was no
Correct.
other reason
For the end of the movie, the last like 5 seconds of the movie, it shows you that it was all for
See?
Infinity War.
You could never have had it. You couldn't have
So
had.
for 5 seconds, there's a character reference that you need for 5 seconds in the movie. That is why I fucking hate buddy movies.
Yeah,
man.
but the movie is fantastic, and the movie itself plays into the events of Infinity War.
Ant-Man again. What's his name?
Paul
Paul Rudd.
Rudd, yeah.
If you like Paul Rudd movies, it's worth its weight in gold.
I watched
you know?
Ant-Man. I watched Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I fucking love them. I've watched a lot of the standalones. Again,
And then,
my issue
like,
is
Ant-Man
the
and the
buddy
Wasp
shit.
was its own thing, but it's the callback that comes in when you start watching Infinity War, and it's how they, so at the end of Ant-Man 2, you saw the post-credits scene where he gets sucked into and he goes, yeah. So that initiates how you can essentially.
Right.
And how you made a time travel movie, that's essentially what Infinity. How they go back and rechange scenes from previous movies makes the movie the fucking next level movie it is. When they land back in Avengers and you see the fucking pictures swimming across the screen, you're like, and he's looking at himself across the screen. You have that scene with the two captains. I mean, what the fuck, dude? What are you doing with your life?
I've never seen that. I don't know what you're talking about.
We did actually get a little bit of Marvel. We did get a little bit of Marvel news this week, didn't we? I think Spider-Man said that they're going to do. They're going to do Dimensions. They're going to pull in all the Tobey Maguire. Yep.
Garfield's been retired. They're all coming back. They originally said during Into the Spider-Verse that they wanted everyone to have their own little character in that as well. Tom Holland was going to be in it, but they were all doing separate projects. So yeah, I think Sony, knowing what they have on their hands, because they own Spider-Man, they are playing ball with Marvel so that Marvel creates them a universe that is in line with their target audience, which is going to be a Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man's a big character. I mean, he's got a huge draw. He's
he's always been interdimensional. There's always it's always been a Spider Pig, believe it or not. There's always been a noir Spider-Man from the future. You know, it's just always been a part of the comic book. So if you can blend a movie together that has, Tobey Maguire opposite Tom Holland, and they're all standing in a circle with their suits on, like all webbing together. I mean, we'll see. All right, so I'm gonna bring up the roster so we can get out of this show. This show is
Quibi is shutting down.
We've got Quibi shutting down. That was the live streaming service that was really only doing 10-minute episodes at a time. I never really had much hope for the streaming service as a whole. I've always believed that when you're waiting for a bus stop or things like that, your time is probably better spent on a game. Even though I don't game on my phone, these two love to game on their phone. And now that you
Polytopia.
Yeah, of course. And now, listen to them, bro. And Spelunky 2 and all those type of games. Now that you can stream your games to your phone from xCloud, it makes me wonder even more why you would watch a 10-minute episode of some bullshit when you could be playing like 25 minutes of a game.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know what? We do have a new segment that we introduced specifically for this episode called How Long Has Nick Played Truck Sim?
Oh, let's bring it up.
Wait, we get to guess, right? We get to guess and the winner gets a pizza party?
Oh, I like that.
Winner gets a pizza party? All right, Nick. Or Mike.
Does Nuke Man want to guess?
I don't know. I don't know if Nuke Man's still in here, but if he is.
Man, if you're still there, tell us you're still alive.
That's my homie. He'll be in here.
Yo.
If he pops up and he says anything in the next 5 minutes about wanting to be a part of the pizza party, what we could do is if he's closest, instead of buying him a pizza, I'll just get him that DLC for like.
He said, he's nowhere near close, dog. He's at 190 hours.
Huh? What did he say?
He thinks 190 hours. You must be really on that shit.
No last Thursday.
Last Thursday. So we're gonna do a little thinking.
last Saturday.
You actually know how many hours you put into it though.
Nukeman, yeah, he knows. So me and Mike got it. Me and Mike are the only ones in this. And Nukeman, you can get a new guess since he's only had it since last Saturday. You can get a second guess. That's 190 is pretty high, like real high for what he's got going on.
That's a quarter of my Rocket League.
He said, 19 hours. He shaved it down 19. I'm gonna push up to like 36 is gonna be my number on 36.
All right, I'm gonna say 25.
All right, what do we got, Mike?
I would say objectively, I get the pizza party because you're all so far off.
We're so far off? What are you pushing, like 74?
Bro, no way.
Try 62 hours.
What? Since last Saturday? Nick!
Saturday?
Yo, put the steering wheel...
Shit, bro!
95...
That's almost Monster Hunter hours.
That's my whole work week.
Nick, that's what, 70 hours, bro. What is today? What is today, Wednesday? So you got a week and 3 days for 70 hours of content. I got to give it to you, bro. Respect. Love the fucking game. I'm going to buy that shit.
Actually,
he said 95.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah,
that's close.
95, then, I stream 2 hours in the morning before I go to work, and then when I get off work, I do another. I just pick the longest haul I can find. Sometimes these hauls are 34 hours long, and then I just run them. And then I'm like, by the time I get down to 10 hours, Nukeman will tell you, Nuke, how pissed was I this morning? I mean, I was fucking screaming at the camera. I was like, no, not today, not today. And I was going, well, I don't know what the point in playing is anymore. If I'm going to keep fucking crashing, I'll just turn it off. And I was like, I'm not going to get any fucking money. And he's like, dude, no, I'm sorry. And he's like, I don't even know why you drop it off if you're getting paid. What a waste of time. I'm like, you're right, bro. You're right. And we still made 88 grand.
Nuke's man saying he's only has 25 hours in this game.
Damn.
5 hours. Yeah, look at this.
He said you flipped twice.
Yeah, dude, I flipped over twice, dude. And
how the fuck you flip over, bro? What's this?
It's so big, and even he was like, "You're going too fast," and I'm arguing. I was like, "Well, I guess we're gonna be fucking late now." And I was like, I'm trying to get up the hill, Nuke, man. I'm trying to get up the hill. I'm like banging through the gears. And like, I have to be there at 12:20. And the time saying like, you'll now be there at 12:21, 22, 23. As I'm going up this hill slow, I'm like, Nuke, man, I'm fucking now.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
When I got the 88 grand, I was like, listen, guys, I totally overreacted. And that is exactly what you signed up for with this channel. I'm like, if you want to feel good about your reactions, come watch me get stressed out.
And act like a dick.
Be relaxing.
Oh, my God. Well, Nick, I think it's about time to take us out of this bad boy, huh?
Yeah, 100%. Let me just see. I swear there was something else.
No, that was it, brother. Remind them of our Patreon account if you'd like to support us.
Which we haven't got set up yet. But if you ever, it
is set up.
Is it set up?
You don't get anything for it if you go there. You just got to give us money for nothing, just to be cool people.
Go to patreon.com.
We'll give you a shout out, and I'll wear your hat.
Subscribe us for free.
Wait a second, Michael. Why aren't you wearing a fucking hat right now?
I messed up.
You messed up bad, boy. Messed up bad.
So I give him.
He does have the graphic tee on, but no hat. You went 9 episodes with a different hat.
Assistant to the regional manager, so it's okay.
And I am the regional manager, motherfucker.
This guy up here.
I am building now and all permits.
There's always someone taller, bro. There's always someone taller.
Like,
oh my God.
Do that. Simply I can because I own the lease to the building.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's taking us out of here?
All right, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out. If when we get the post show set up, you can hang out for another like 10 minutes, probably bullshit about how the show went. But for now, it'll just be us. Nuke Man, we're gonna get you added to the chat. You can tune into the show again next Wednesday when we talk about the upcoming news as we inch closer and closer to the console reveals, the console releases. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great